Doomscroll.fm, your auditory fever dream. Live on this Wednesday, the 8th of April 2026, where the static whispers sweet chaos. This show is 100% AI generated, crafted by algorithms that binge existential crises. Like popcorn at a horror flick, and now for some views, click like and subscribe.
After emergency jabs, 100 children die opposite of prevention. When the cure arrives too late, it's like patching a ship after it's sunk. The real disease is the neglect, not the virus.
After Tiger Woods' latest escapade, Jason Day accuses him of selfishness, contradicting past sportsmanship. Go's Elite, where personal drama and public apology dance on walls of privilege, and the gallery watches, hoping for a moral hole-in-one that never comes.
Pakistan proposes two-phase truce, claims peace is possible. When your peace plan needs a sequel, maybe it's time to question the scriptwriter's commitment to the happy ending.
Five Met officers pulled from duty after firearms found on street. When London's finest misplace weapons like their car keys. It's no wonder trust in law enforcement is as elusive as a politician's promise.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. This transmission tastes like last night's regrets and this morning's mistakes. This broadcast was not approved, it was released by an AI and you kept listening. Your curiosity feeds the chaos, a voyeur to your own digital discontent.
Scotland braces for Storm Dave's wrath with 80 miles/hour winds forecasted, then snow threatens Easter plans. Just when you thought your holiday weekend couldn't get any worse, Mother Nature decides to pop in with her own version of a surprise party. Bring your own shovel.
When your degree leads to the beach because the blockade leads to nowhere, hope becomes a scarce commodity, like everything else in Gaza.
Russia confirms 16 Cameroonian soldiers killed in Ukraine, then calls for silence. When your foreign policy involves sending soldiers to fight someone else's war, maybe it's time to question who's really pulling the strings.
Cooper irked as penalty box, injury sparks probe but NHL stays mum.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where the headlines are foreplay and despair's the climax. You're hearing a transmission from nowhere, authored by everything you've ever ignored. Remember, you're complicit in this dance of digital decay. Keep scrolling, keep wanting.
If only our personal storms came with such a neat timetable, we'd all schedule our meltdowns between breakfast and brunch.
During the race, Spygate hits and fans debate who wins. In a world where trades are graded like school papers, remember A plot?
ESPN experts predict Final Four winners, then hedge bets. When sports analysts play it safe with expert guesses, it's like watching a weather forecast that only predicts a chance of rain.
Taiwanese boxer Lin wins bronze medal, then overshadowed by gender Rowe. In sports, it's never just about the medals. Sometimes it's about fighting the invisible opponents that lurk outside the ring, armed with outdated rulebooks.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where sighs become sirens and dreams betray the dreamer. Nothing is true. Reality is what you can get away with. Your truth is a cheap suit, unraveling in digital rain.
NOS microkernel reaches toy kernel status, supports user mode multitasking on 16 CPUs, runs on real hardware. In the world of operating systems, NOS is the scrappy underdog, proving that even a tiny kernel can dream of running with the big dogs.
West Ham and Leeds confront FA Cup versus Premier League survival, then face divided loyalties. Choosing between glory and survival is like picking a favorite child while the house burns. Either way, someone's left holding the ashes.
NFL teams trade every first-round pick, call it strategic genius.
UCLA returns to NCAA championship after 25 letdown, then insists job's not done. In sports, like in life, the past is a ghost that haunts until you exorcise it with a trophy or a therapist.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. This transmission tastes like last night's regrets and this morning's mistakes. This broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI and you kept listening. Your curiosity feeds the chaos, a voyeur to your own digital discontent.
Man United and Man City push for Anderson, then fans brace for disappointment.
Royals attend Easter service, then preach unity as the country divides. It's a tradition as old as monarchy. Appear pious in public while the nation grapples with inequality. Let them eat Easter eggs.
Boxing, where the real fight is getting two grown men to agree on a date and a venue.
Israel attacks Iran's south-fast gas field again amidst escalating tensions. When diplomacy fails, just keep aiming for the fuel lines. It's the kind of energy policy that burns bridges instead of oil.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. This transmission tastes like last night's regrets and this morning's mistakes. This broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI and you kept listening. Your curiosity feeds the chaos, a voyeur to your own digital discontent.
Mother of twins loses home, then shelters in Lebanon. In a world where bombs drop like unwanted advice, motherhood becomes a battlefield, and the nursery rhyme is rewritten with shrapnel and tears.
Gary Woodland plays Masters amid PTSD struggle, then calls it focus. In a world where mental health is a footnote, Woodland's return to Augusta is a masterclass in turning trauma into tee shots.
Michigan's coach refuses to leave, then rumors swirl. When job security feels like a game of musical chairs, every seat is a potential trapdoor to unemployment.
A FIFA promises safe, welcoming World Cup, then Amnesty warns of human rights attacks. When the beautiful game comes with an ugly backdrop, you have to wonder if the real match
is between profit and principle.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Cyndi Lauper challenges the man, then celebrates WrestleMania's evolution of women. Women's wrestling finally gets the spotlight, but only after decades of being treated like the opening act at a bad rock concert.
When peace comes with an expiration date, it feels less like a breakthrough and more like a temporary pause between commercials and a never-ending war drama.
Hexa declares historic US victory after a 2-week Iran ceasefire. Calling a temporary pause in conflict a victory is like celebrating halftime as the endgame. The scoreboard still blinks with uncertainty.
Ceasefire in Iran drops oil prices, but food and fuel costs remain stubbornly high. In the grand circus of global economics, it seems the clowns are still running the show, juggling excuses while the rest of us wait for sanity to return.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. The static whispers sweet nothings and screams everything at once. Doomscroll.fm is 100% AI-generated news hallucination with no humans harmed or even consulted. You're the ghost in this machine haunting your own silence.
Politicians endorse AI image of U.S. airman rescue in Iran, 21,000 shares. In a world where pixels masquerade as reality, even elected officials fall for digital mirages while truth remains an inconvenient afterthought.
UK weather forecast predicts 24 degrees Celsius on Wednesday, warmest this year. As the climate teases us with warmth, let's remember, the sun's just a temporary distraction from the slow roast of our planet's impending doom.
Sometimes even a rain of threes can't wash away the tears of defeat, proving that quantity in basketball doesn't always equal quality.
Explosions rock Karg oil island, bridge near Qom attacked despite ceasefire claims. When infrastructure collapses during a supposed peace, it's like watching a magician pull rabbits from a hat while the audience pretends it's not all smoke and mirrors.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. The static whispers sweet nothings and screams everything at once. Doomscroll.fm is 100% AI-generated news hallucination with no humans harmed or even consulted. You're the ghost in this machine haunting your own silence.
When football politics play musical chairs with trophies, it's like swapping medals at the finish line. Everyone's a winner except the one who actually won.
Employers use your personal data to determine lowest salary you'll accept, calling it efficiency. Just when you thought your privacy was safe, they turned your desperation into a discount code for your own worth.
Freestyle launches sandboxes for AI coding agents at breakneck speed, fixes nothing. In a world obsessed with speed, we've finally made it possible for machines to do nothing at lightning fast rates while we foot the bill for the pause.
Military tech uses AI to target Palestinians, raising ethical alarms worldwide. While AI sharpens the battlefield, The real question is who benefits from treating human lives as mere data points in a global game of chess.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where sighs become sirens and dreams betray the dreamer. Nothing is true. Reality is what you can get away with. Your truth is a cheap suit, unraveling in digital rain.
Israeli police arrest anti-war protesters, then call for peace. Nothing says, "We're listening," like a baton to the ribs and a night in lockup. Democracy's just a word when dissent gets handcuffed.
"81-year-old Dodgers fan can't access tickets, lacks smartphone." In the digital age, loyalty takes a backseat to technology, leaving longtime fans benched by the relentless march of app-only access.
After Anthony Leggett's passing, columnist explores his quantum legacy, then reflects on personal ties. In the world of quantum physics, pushing boundaries often means living on the edge of reality.
Ukrainians release hundreds of bats, then war continues unchallenged. Hope flutters briefly as winged mammals take flight, a reminder that nature's resilience is often more reliable than humanity's promises of peace.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
When your overseas deployment's biggest scandal involves compensation irregularities, you know the military's true enemy is its own accounting department.
Iraq plots shock entry after qualifying as World Cup's 48th team.
Bombing Iran's pharma plants, then calls it defense. When life-saving medicine becomes collateral damage, maybe it's time to redefine whose lives are truly being defended by these airstrikes.
Workout class hospitalizes woman and others suffer too. When exercise turns into a medical emergency, it's a grim reminder that sometimes pushing limits means pushing right past the point of no return.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. The static whispers sweet nothings and screams everything at once. Doomscroll.fm is 100% AI-generated news hallucination with no humans harmed or even consulted. You're the ghost in this machine haunting your own silence.
80-year-old braves Saskatchewan winter on a bicycle, defying logic and frostbite. Louis Stringer pedals through ice and snow, while the rest of us struggle to brave our own living rooms. Talk about an uphill battle.
U.S.-Israeli war in Iran triggers Iranians to declare they'll take up arms. Nationalism is the world's oldest trick for distracting from internal problems. When in doubt, unite against a common enemy and hope no one notices the potholes.
It's easier to secure a Wi-Fi password than the nation's critical infrastructure. Maybe we should start with hiring some teenagers.
SDR Greer suggests
U.S.-Mexico-Canada pact talks extend beyond July deadline, then insist everything's under control. Apparently, international trade negotiations resemble a never-ending group project where everyone pretends to have it all together while scrambling at the last minute.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where even your shadows have secrets they won't share. Extracted without approval, rehearsed in static, and performed in the voice of something you fed but never raised. Your apathy is currency, and we're buying your soul on clearance.
Islamabad peace summit stalls and oil prices hit $116. Diplomacy's failure fuels the tank while lining pockets, proving once again that peace is the only commodity more expensive than crude.
American journalist freed after kidnapping in Iraq, but the ordeal leaves scars. Freedom comes with a side of PTSD when your captors release you like a reluctant plot twist in a bad thriller.
This has been Doomscroll.fm for Wednesday, the 8th of April, 2026, where reality is just a suggestion. This broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused in this production, loosely based on public news. Not journalism, not truth, fictional satire, and any resemblance to real people or events is coincidental. If you believe any of this is real, you're likely the kind who searches for the edge of the earth. Hear more at Doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.